everyone, this is Greyshot. Instead of bringing another COH2 replay, just heads up, this one and then next week is probably going to be a little different just because of who I'm doing it on, but I'll get to that in a second. This is a 1v1 on Faymanville Approach. This is a 1v1 map. We have Webster Bullock and Momo4sho's. For those who don't know, Momo4sho's is a Twitch streamer that does COH2 replays. Yeah, he typically submit in. Actually, someone recommended I go on COH2.org and check out this replay with him. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to hopefully check it out. We'll see. And again, just I think his thing is about sloths, if I recall correctly. He's like a big sloth. Yep, he's a big sloth guy. So in any capacity, I highly recommend you check out his Twitch channel. He's really good from what I told. Hosted his streams a few times after mine was done. So again, check him out. But in any case, let's get to the replay, shall we? Let's double check their ranks real quick. I'm assuming Momo is gonna be high up there. So yeah, they're pretty close. Anyway, conscript's kind of on standby. Right now, this map we can see here. There's like this small little area on the far left. Nice little windmill. I actually kind of like this. It's very nice. It's a nice little scenic. I almost want to just get a picture of that just for like a scenic approach to H2 without the explosions. Hopefully a tank goes over there and just destroys everything, and that way I can somehow get into the thumbnail. But in any case, let's see. We got mass conscripts being produced by Webster. Let me see what he has. I hate that 45mm AT gun with a burning passion. I hate that thing more than Armor Company, and that's saying something. Anyway, Volk Squad's just in the building, kind of defensive. Conscripts being like, okay, cool. Didn't grab some territory, but again, took priority more so in grabbing the frontline territory. Resource-wise, it's kind of helping him out, at least munition-wise. And with there, it'll definitely give him up on fuel. But you can see here the Volk Squads are opening fire via the heavy cover. Not a bad idea. Again, use the cover to their advantage and push back the conscripts, even though they're behind the car. And the car is pretty good cover, even though in reality... fun fact, if you're ever being shot at, just note that a car, most cars, some cars, it's not the case, but most cars, a bullet hit goes through one side and out the other very quickly. I mean, like, without maybe some deflection, but the reason why a lot of people hide behind cars is not necessarily because it's bulletproof, because that's not the case. It's actually just, line of sight and losing, I guess, direct line vision on the other person. So essentially, if you don't know where they are, you're firing down shots blindly, and sure, you could maybe hit them if you're lucky, but most of the time, a lot of people, and again, officers included, I've seen, and especially on Active Self-Defense, another good YouTube channel, they'll use that to pretty much confuse the enemy and then come up for a counterattack. Anyway, interesting choice. I like this guy already, using this to block off. We have another guy going shock rifle. Very interesting. I believe the reason I say that is the last 1v1 I did, he went shock rifle. So it's probably, I'm assuming, pretty popular in the 1v1 department. Again, don't do many 1v1s. Do a couple 2v2s, a few more 3v3s, and a few more 4v4s. But, you know, just not into that. Yeah, I was going to say that building's probably not the best in being with one window. Conscripts holding the line, additional conscripts moving on in. On the far left, though, we have Volk Squads capturing territory. The problem, though, is it's cut off, so right now it really doesn't matter if he's capturing all that. Yeah, it's just not going to open. Meanwhile, conscripts going on right. We saw a flare go up, and again, that goes over with his doctrine, which is Overwatch. Jaeger light infantry, I really don't care for. I know a lot of people like it, that I've seen replays of, and that's great. I'm again glad if you really enjoy using that specific thing, but for me it's just something that I don't really care for. We also see here these conscripts have been boosted quite a bit, so they are a little bit more potent than your normal conscripts, which may explain why they're doing really well. I love this guy in the building though. Look here, there's one guy here and two guys out the window, so it's doing okay, but Molotov cocktail will take care of it. I like how he put it by the door as well, but he just came out the back. But yeah, you can equip them with G43s, and they have sprint, booby trap, and hold fire. Wow, and can decommission. Interesting. But yeah, it's just one of those scenarios where it's just a unit that is pretty weak in my opinion. And yeah, they can get G43s to increase attack power, but they're mainly for just going behind enemy lines and causing a little bit of havoc in terms of decapping territory, from what I've seen, or flanking MGs. But again, we'll see how they're used here. But in any case, this Doctor also comes with the Goliath, which is everyone's favorite weapon. You got for the Fatherland, you got the new artillery piece, and a really beefed up sector artillery, which I'm happy for. So I unfortunately learned the hard way that that thing is very, very annoying, but very good. Very good indeed. Now, we don't have any grenades here, so don't expect to deploy this thing like a false... I know a lot of people who just, like, deploy a partisan or Fallschirmjäger squad, get out of the building, and just blow something up. Now, Fallschirmjägers, again, you have to calm them down, or, you know, there's, like, a delay on the grenades or something along those lines, and people are like, oh. But in any case, Momo, really good counter assault. He did a decent job in multiple sectors of really pushing back the conscripts and capturing territory, which is very good for him because he kind of needed it. Now, what do you... Oh, we have a mine going down. He's putting down his own tripwires just in case. And actually, not a bad idea. Put it right behind or right near the cars because that's where most likely the Volk squads would go for cover. So that would at least hurt a single squad. Also, these mines are pretty damn cheap. I mean, they only kill like one member of the squad, but for 10 munitions, just killing one member, it's pretty good, I would say. That's actually a pretty good trade-off. But hey, that's me. Anyway, Storm's holding the line, Volk squad's on standby, Volk squad's going around the flank, conscripts pushing on in, get in the building. Once again, one window, so you're not going to do all that great. Get out. I guess your idea was just kind of stop them. Wow, okay, rapid movement with Ura. Get back behind the cover. He's still in... I'm surprised. Oh, there it goes. There's green. Volk squad still on standby. MG going in the building. Still on fire, but I guess not going to do too much to it. Molotov going out. Going to hurt the Volk squad. I'm assuming we have another fire grenade. Going to go off shortly. Oh, no, he doesn't have enough munitions. Half-track, though, deployed. No AT. No AT. Oh, looks like more fires dropped, and the building is now on fire, or almost on fire. It's smoking really heavily. In this game, where there's smoke, no fire. It's close, but you need a few more grenades such like that to really catch this thing ablaze. Though it is close. It is very close. Half-track, opening fire, pushing back the MG. Now, this guy, I'm actually curious. Well, there goes the mine. There goes the squad member. He doesn't have AT grenades, so he's already down. He doesn't have enough munitions to really throw a ton of them, so he's really going to be on the defensive, especially if that half-track goes. It does a really good job at pinning him in his base. Because also, I doubt he wants to really, how do I put this nicely? He really wants to waste a bunch of men while this thing open fires just to, you know, for a point. I think he's going to want to pull back. He's trying to push up, but overall this half-track is really keeping him contained, which is very nice to see. Good play on that regard. Meanwhile, his Volk squads are going across the map, just trying to capture as much territory as possible. Nice job killing the conscript squad in retreat as well. If he can get a kill on that, that would help him out. It's close, and he managed to get back in the base. Very cool. Volk squad's just going around, capturing all the territory. Engineers are now falling back. So right now, we're about to see a large amount of resources from Momo, and that should help jumpstart his overall, I guess, jump in a better military gear. The Soviets actually not doing too bad, though. Again, they need to really recapture this territory to get the munitions back, at least, to kind of keep them in the game. But overall, like fuel and everything else, it's pretty much for the OKW. It's pretty much on their side. In terms of just like, oh yeah, he's just really, really overwhelming the Soviet player. But also, if this half-track is used correctly, you can keep holding back the infantry. Now, AT gun is moving up, and he is kind of moving up pretty quickly. Major counterattack going on. Doesn't look like there's any Volk squads or anything defending, so it looks like Momo used his men to quickly capture territory, pulled them back to heal, and unfortunately, because of that, he doesn't have enough to really stop a Soviet counterattack. Which, again, you should expect once the enemy gets everything down to be like, oh, they're going to get an AT gun, they're going to push back your armor, and they're going to start gaining. We do have a support gun, we have an AT gun, we have multiple Volk squads that are either getting repaired. We still have that Jaeger Light Infantry squad with 8 kills. Not too shabby. Again, with G43, it's very easy to kill, like, lower health guys with those. Because, essentially, also I mean, the variant of the G43 is used for the snipers. So, just again, at least in this game. But, yeah, these squad members, I try to put some cover. Sturm Pioneers, doing okay capture territory for Kenworth for moving on up. Half-track moving on in as well. We're most likely going to try to counteract the conscript squad over here. Yep. We got... no, actually, we got no deployment. Okay. Oak squad's retreating. On the far back, we have a conscript squad going around. Again, for technically having less men, Webster's actually doing a pretty good job of having map control and keeping the fight at least contained for the most part. We'll see how long that lasts, and also, I like how he's going very, very slow and realize, yeah, fuck it, just fall back. Alright, pulls back behind there. Try to maneuver himself away from these squads so the AT gun will survive. Okay, Spore of a Campania at the farthest they can to the front, which might bite him in the ass. I know why people do it to deploy units quicker, but still, I mean, like, the MG doesn't necessarily cover, like, something from walking up and opening fire, so you have to watch out for that. Meanwhile, those conscripts still capturing territory along with the engineer squad. Falling back, though, because he realizes, yeah, I don't want to lose men. But even though all that territory has been captured, it is cut off. We can see here that Momo did a really good job and took some territory that essentially cuts off all those supplies that would essentially go to Webster. So very good job in that regard. Very good job indeed. Now, Webster has yet to get an upgrade. I mean, he's upgraded all of his units. He's still yet to get a T-grenade, which is weird, in my opinion. Usually, I see people get the AT grenade to deal with armor, but I guess we're just not doing that. Anyway, half-track opening fire, managing to push back and pull back a lot of the conscript squads moving on in. Volk squad coming in. Being upgraded with that CG44, the other one is, but hey, doing a pretty damn good job. Molotov cocktail going against this guy. Again, negative cover as well, so the conscript squad has a small chance, but fortunately is pushed back, but more reinforcements should push back that squad. Or he just retreats it. Nice. Anyway, they're going around capturing territory. Did he make that cover? I was assuming he made it, which, by the way, doesn't work. It really, you can see here them kind of like moving stuff around. It's here, even with that barbed wire, it's still heavy cover. So Relic kind of patched this, or they've made adjustments to where this barbed wire is not as effective as people think. Again, used to be a big strategy in CH2, which is why a lot of people do it, but I don't really do it. There's no point. Because they still can get to cover. Storm Pioneers moving on in, but the Molotov cocktail going to burn them in. But unfortunately, it just goes around. Conscript squad still opening fire, but has to retreat because Sturm's a very good close range and just overwhelmed him. Half track we can see here, yep, being deployed. It's going to be the mechanized one and can pretty much guard these 2 points, which is very crucial. This one's the fuel, and we have another juncture point. So if they can hold this one with the half track, helps them out. Now this brush is not going to help anything. It'll make it a little bit easier for maybe someone capturing on the far right, but we'll see how things go. Anyway, meanwhile, conscripts going on left to grab the fuel back. Again, this is also why I kind of like 1v1s. It's just the unpredictability of what the enemy is going to do. Wow, nice. Yeah, nice flank with those Jägerle infantry. Actually, just put him out of misery. Again, I can see here why he's doing it. He's using the Volk squads to wear them down while the Jägerle infantry are to pick them off. So, good combo. Very good combo. Anyway, conscripts moving on in. Most likely going to try to push Volk squad back. By the way, the reason why I don't like this is just actually a lot of kind of deployable infantry with behind stuff like stormtroopers. They can be very good. I just find that a lot of people will deploy them and then waste them. That's my biggest deal. It's not the unit itself. It's just kind of the wasting of the unit to try to get a quick kill or something. Anyway, engineer squad just being torn apart by the Volk squads. They're going to retreat. We do have an MG and an AT gun in mid, along with the Hindenburg Airwolfer providing some recon. Again, just kind of give you a perspective. They can kind of see a bit farther. So I kind of can tell, like, oh, yeah, that's over there. Anyway, Flare's going out because, again, they're capturing territory. So the Flare's like, hey, this guy's over here. You may want to take point of this squad coming around your corner. Volk squad's moving on in, but more Molotov cocktails and incendiary grenade push them both out of cover. And, wow, Conscript squad holding its own. Yeah, it's actually beating the Volk squad. Good for it. Really, seriously, good for it. Now, he's probably going to head back to base and heal, because, again, we know they have medics. Shock troops on standby. It's funny, because you would think the enemy would be coming this way by how they're stationed, but no. I am very curious what the hell they're doing. It's like, if we look at the bush, they can't see us. Sir, I think they can see us. No, they can't see us. We're in the bush. They can't see things in the bush. Regular infantry just taking the spot. We have a recon flare going on out. Some support gunfire. Nothing too major. We have a cache going down. Munitions. I guess try to help out the Soviets in general. Which, by the way, he has a ton of fuel. But he has to put down 8 points. Which puts down the obvious assumption. Okay, it's... yeah, okay, I'm going to say it's obvious. It's really fucking obvious that he's going to save up for an IS-2. Now, this is both good and bad. He'll have more... again, I think it's a little bit of a waste. Just because... and this is just my eyes because of the fact an armored unit would probably help in some capacity versing the Germans. But I could see why you don't, because you don't want to... you want to focus more on infantry. The problem, though, is the fact, like... think of, like, a T-70 helping over here and help pick off guys. Yeah, sure, the enemy has cannon morpher, but if you're mobile, that would really, it really does help. Anyway, large push over here. Shock troops getting close. Find heavy cover. Volk squad's gonna have a hard time, though. Fire grenade going out to burn both squads, and most likely the Soviets will have to fall back, and the Germans will hold on to the point. So good defense there. AT gun moving on in through the smoke. I like it. It just came through the smoke. Half track can be pulled back. Isvet 2 though, not bad. Conscripts having better luck on the far right, and looks like while the far left was unfortunately unable to be taken by the Soviets, middle was. That being said, looks like we have some units coming in for our flank with Soldaten. Yeah, that's some pretty powerful units to flank. Now AT gun most likely trying to find a target, but alas, not really getting it. Maybe the AT gun could fire a artillery shell shot at the support gun and kill it, but Soldaten just putting an end to those conscripts. Might be able to kill them. Oh, it does. A 3-star conscript squad being mowed down by Soldaten. Damn, that hurts. That does hurt a lot. Anyway. He's going to capture more territory. Keeping the resources firmly within at least majority of them under Momo4sho's sphere. That should help him at least, rush up for, I'm assuming a Panther is he's probably going to go for. Meanwhile, Webster's, again, saving up for the IS-2. And I'm assuming he is constantly trying to do those engagements to get up his command points, so that way he can hopefully get sooner. Because getting the IS-2 before the 20-minute mark would be huge, because that would be just when Momo4sho's could technically have enough fuel. Manpower-wise, there's very low likelihood that he's going to have enough by that time to get a Panther. But that's not saying he couldn't. So, I mean, 200 for 2 minutes, yeah, there's no way. He's not going to be able to get it. He's healing his guys too quickly and everything. He's getting double over cannon warfare, though. He's really focusing on less armor, more infantry-based. Whereas we can see here, Webster, he's really doubling down on that heavy armor. So we'll see what happens. The last time we did this, the IS-2 did reign supreme. It did push back the command tank, the King Tiger, and all the other armored vehicles. So this strategy we've seen works before. The only question, though, is the fact that will this guy controls IS-2 as well as his infantry? If so, not great. I'll say this right now: Webster's infantry game has just not been all that much up to par. So we'll see what happens. Again, I'm kind of being optimistic. So hopefully, maybe something happens. But again, it's just one of those things where it's just, yeah, I don't know. I honestly, I don't know. Momo's definitely keeping up the pressure, which is very good for him. I love this. Shock troops trying to kill the squad on the retreat. Not going to, but he might get a squad or two. Engineer squad going around, trying to get the different points on the far right. Incendiary grenade going out. They're advancing. At least I think it was incendiary. Hold on. No, it was, oh, sorry, Molotov cocktail. My apologies. Shock Troops trying to capture the point, but these guys in heavy cover just giving him hell. Again, long range. Shock Troops don't do well. It's just from the weaponry. But he's so close. You can tell he's so close. He's desperately trying to get it. And he's probably going to, honestly. And actually, good fire, unbeknownst to him, because that fire actually pushed back the Verkutting Morpher and the support gun. And this one had to redeploy as well. So that was actually a pretty damn good hit. Meanwhile, we have the... Wow, okay. Yeah, the light infantry recon coming in from behind, causing damage. But now Papa Stalin's baby tank, the IS-2, made of pure selenium, is advancing, preparing for a counterattack. Now, these guys probably have no... Well, they probably have an idea, I'm assuming by doctrine, why Shock Troops and Fire is kind of obvious for this one. But the fact that he's just now deployed it, he's probably not in the best position to really deal with this. I'm sure he is for Kedmorphers, but it takes a lot of hits to penetrate this thing. That's even if it does penetrate, let alone... Because it could do exactly like that and bounce. By the way, I've been... I want to say apologies, because sometimes I'll say, and I know this is getting confusing, that it's like a side armor hit. Technically, it's not in CH2. I just refer to side armor just because it makes sense, but technically the front armor still consists of the front half of the tank, and the back armor is the back half of the tank. But essentially, if the shot's like back here on the side, it's rear armor. It's a different like penetration scale. But in any case, moving on. I still, in my eyes, would still see a side armor hit because of like World of Tanks and other things. Like there is a difference in that regard. But yeah, no. Just to let you know, front armor on the side is the same as the front armor in the front, whereas back armor on the side is the same as back armor in the back. But I just think of it in general because most people will just fire at the side and usually it penetrates as if it was back. So anyway, just want to go into that because just kind of give it the armor detail. Because if this IS-2 is going to keep fighting them head on, I think the IS-2 has things pretty clear. He is going to probably want to move over the engineer squad, most likely to come over and repair. I know he's capturing this, and some nice mines again, trying to use some of his excess munitions. The few he has, but a limited amount, to just go around and try to decap territory. Again, we'll see what happens. Hopefully things turn out pretty well, and by turn out pretty well, I mean stuff is captured and Soviets can mount a small comeback. Anyway, IS-2 just unfortunately walked into all these squads, and Momo's like, oh, fuck, and gets the hell out of there. We do have a Panther. We do have a Panther being deployed. The AT gun, though, is very close to help the IS-2 out. Infantry, though, was coming in. You still have not gotten AT grenades, which is weird. I still go by my statement that is freaking weird. Also, I do think you should start upgrading your buildings, because even though you could say, oh, Greyshot, he got an IS-2, it's literally the best thing you can get. Well, yes and no. The thing I will say about it, and this is just me, is the fact that you could snare the Panther with the AT grenades, and then you could also snare the tank with a T-34 if you really want to get some of the more advanced stuff. Plus, you could always use FCU-76 to support. There's all sorts of stuff you can do. AT gun and IS-2 opening fire on the Panther, pushing it back. MG redeploying. Conscript squad's trying to help guard the flank as well. This guy's focused on minesweeping so that it's easier to kill. MG opening fire on that squad, pinning it. Overall, Momo has a way larger army, but Webster's still doing decently well. He's still keeping himself in the fight and actually keeping the enemy on his toes. AT gun does need to move back up on the front. I know why he's moving it back. He wants to heal it real quick. But there's a lot of stuff over here. If the Soviet player can just do a nice counterattack, maybe. Squad moving back, another front armor deflection. Very nice. Panther, again, knowing not to really stay in this fight too long, versing it, because if he does, things could turn out very bad for him. Or just, not great in general. But that's just me. Just going off the side, like, again, Momo doesn't want to lose this thing. If you lose the Panther, it could be a start of a quick decline, which the Soviet player wants. again, if you really want to, like, hurt your enemy, make them lose something very important and just watch them kind of, like, infuriate them just a little bit. I'm sure Momo won't be in that scenario, but, but in any capacity, it is one of those stances where if you just kind of tick the enemy off, they're more likely to make mistakes or make them feel more desperate. That's why in a lot of scenarios in my replays, you'll see, especially in the last, like, games that are extremely close, you just see people sending in units constantly in an effort to decap it. They're not thinking clearly, because sometimes they're not in that desperate situation, but they're still sending in because they're in their mind, they're like, oh, we're about to win. We can easily win this game if we just capture the point, and they'll end up losing the game because they think it's so in the bag for just capturing it. But I don't know, that's just that's me, I guess, just kind of about with everything that I've seen. But hey, that's my own opinion. But it seems like you guys like my opinion, so I'll just keep doing it. Anyway, some troops are going on the far right. We do have a Obsidian in the building, which is like, cool, mow him down. And using its LMG to pretty much light these guys up. And doing a pretty damn good job. I like how he's in heavy cover and negative cover at the same time. That's just great. Molotov cocktail going by the front of the building, which is going to hurt him slowly. We have some smoke coming down by the support gun. I'm assuming he doesn't want to... yeah, he's going to say, move in troops and just kind of hold back the Soviet. The Soviet player is going down, though, overall in victory points. He really has to watch out. So he doesn't lose too many, because that could definitely put him in a negative situation. Finally getting another building. Meanwhile, Momo could easily deploy another armored unit, a Panther 4, and very shortly another Panther. And if he deploys another Panther, that could efficiently hold back the IS-2, especially if the IS-2 has no support. Double Panther can easily defeat it. It's still difficult, but they still can. Artillery, please. No, we don't have enough. Smoke going down below light. He's going to have to retreat. And the AT gun might move up and capture it itself. Or the MG will. One of them. In any case, Canworth is still on standby. Unfortunately, having trouble penetrating. Meanwhile, a lot of Volk squads are going across the map, just capturing territory right next to this guy's base. Damn, which can be a good thing, a bad thing. I mean, you have to micro these units to make sure that, again, they don't get overwhelmed or that you don't lose them. But if you're managing to, constantly keep pressure over here, when they retreat, they might end up in your pathway. Plus, it's keeping, as long as your forces, you're fine with microing that much. You can essentially force him to, like, cause a mistake by moving two fronts, which will spread his camera angle and cause him to possibly lose sight of an area and maybe lose a unit. Anyway, AT gun standby. Nice fresh rear armor hit. Does really nothing, though. Conscript squad on standby. Once again, no AT grenades. Still. We do have a Soviet mine? No, sorry, German mine. That's a German mine. Although AT gun coming around the hit, surprised that thing has been able to survive for this long. Volk squads have been really trying to kill it. Also, I just realized they're Vet 5 each, so holy freak, they are pretty damn good. MG opening fire. Yep, instantly suppressed. IS-2 giving it its best shot, but it really needs infantry support. Doesn't really want to keep fighting over cannon warfare, even though an IS-2 can, and I've seen one-shot infantry. It's also... Again, you don't want to take that risk of being, like, trying to get that one shot or a very powerful shot like I just did with the Obsidian against a unit that it will slowly cripple it. So, anyway, nice Panther shot in the front. A Panther quickly using the building as cover. Very nice. So they can block the IS-2's reaction shot. And now moving up to try to open fire. Misses, but I think hits the cache, which is quite funny. And still keeping a lot of pressure. And I do mean this, honestly, a ton of pressure on the Soviet player. He cannot get a moment to reprieve. And actually, we can see on the far left that we have squads coming over to capture that territory. MG should suppress that squad. Oh, wait, or unless he can see that. Oh, maybe he can. Half-track, though, could come in to help. S-285 coming in is a big deal because now that Panther no longer has the ability to just keep doing those quick hits. The S-285 could essentially counteract those quick hits and do some major damage, unless, he tries to do a flank or something. But, again, we'll see how things go. Right now, the Soviet player is getting a ton of AT on the field. The big issue where I'm seeing Webster really slack off, it was in the armor department. But if he uses the SU-85 and the IS-2 in tandem, then you can actually start to see the IS-2 really go ham against the infantry, and the SU-85 really focus on the Panther, separating their duties, but again, kind of forcing the enemy back. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Things could go very well. Hopefully very well. But, again, time will tell. Time will tell. A lot of veterancy on both sides, which is also great to see. Momo is almost near pop cap, and I'm assuming he might want to put down another building. Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to put down a mechanized building. That way, again, he not necessarily he's going to use anything from the building as in terms of units, but the vehicle repair could be helpful, just making sure that his Panther can deploy. Looks like he didn't get that second Panther yet, but he could soon. Shock Troops going for that point. Again, realizing, yeah, we're only almost 100 points, and they're still at 350, so we really need to stop hemorrhaging capture points. You know, which is a positive. Which yeah. Unfortunately, the Momo realizes this and is really putting pressure. IS-2 though coming in, try to get a nice shot off. Warfare on standby. Actually, they got penetration there. Good Panzerfaust, kind of like pinning him a little bit. Again, that like fence shrub area kind of blocked the shot. Engineer squad pushing back the Warfare. S-285 on standby. Warfare kind of stopping this. Another conscript squad bites it. S-285 moving on in with the IS-2. Up, possibly we can get another shot. No, Warfare pushing back the S-285. Very nice. A lot of good hits across the board. Soviet player once again in the retreat. IS-2 definitely taking some heavy damage. Almost dying from the AT weaponry the Soviets have, but manages to get out of there just in time. In any case, IS-2 slowly getting healed. Definitely took a beating itself. And while Momo did lose units, he's still in this game and still ready to go. I would say that Soviet, actually, assault did not go as planned. Really, the Germans still have a ton of infantry and stuff still in the game and still ready to fight, while the Soviets had to retreat and or lost quite a bit. So, it's still a close game. It's still really close. But overall, I have to still give the lead to Momo, who's not only being just very, very aggressive with his infantry and doing really well with it, which is good for him. Really nice to see. But also is just kind of cornered the Soviet player and just made sure that every time he advances, he just takes that territory right back. So, yeah, the Soviet player needs to put on a little bit more pressure on multiple areas. Because every time he does push, Momo's like, let me just push back in like 3 areas and take it back. Which is, again, expertise of 1v1s, but also another reason why I don't play it, because I'm terrible at like micromanaging on multiple fronts. But hey, that's me. Hey, that's me. If you're a pro CH2 player, good for you. Oh, good for you. Shock Troops capturing the territory because realizing, oh shit, we're under 100 points now. We really need to capture that territory. MG suppressing that squad to stop the fuel from hemorrhaging. IS-2 almost healed. Another Panther being deployed. AT gun pushing back the Panther. Now up to Vet 3, so yeah, that thing's now a beast. But that being said, once again, infantry game. Infantry game is what's key. And right now, Momo's doing a hell of a job. Also, this half-track's still alive and got 35 freaking kills. I'm sorry, now Vet 4. Holy mackerel. Damn good job. Damn good job. Anyway, IS-2 moving on in. Flamethrower squad trying to hold him back. Yeah, okay, moving over here to try to help capture the point, I assume. Artillery coming in, missing the Warfare barely. Oh, that was more of a good hit. And there goes the Warfare. Panther coming here on the flank. We also have the bombing strike, which again, very powerful. Might kill the AT gun if he doesn't get the hell out of there. His armor got out of there. He's not moving his infantry though. Maybe he's making the assumption that the bombing strike won't hurt his units. But that's a bad assumption to make. Up, engineer squad got hit a little bit by that. Panther also got hit. Oh wow, got hit again. though he still seems fine. Wow, this half-track is barely hanging in there. Vet 4 clinging on. Rickendorf opening fire. Again, on a road, which makes it more susceptible to enemy fire, you know, in murdering it. Like that. And with that, there goes both of Momo's AT guns. But that being said, we also lost Webster's AT gun. So I feel like it's a fair trade. Oh, never mind. Momo's like, I'm going to take your AT gun. Thanks. Conscript squad, though, throwing Molotov cocktail and opening fire. Gonna try to stop that, I assume. S285, that'll be a very bad idea to open fire on that unit. I think that'd be a very bad idea. But, hey, that's just me. Molotov did kill it, so good. Panther coming around the right flank. The other one is slowly being healed, but back at base. Thought unit was running back there. No, it's just a unit that's in retreat. IS-2 just going around the map, I guess, trying to find a target. Soviet player getting a bit more infantry, but though still under Momo. Momo still has the lead, and definitely more veterancy. All of his units are really highly vetted, whereas Soviet player is kind of more mixed. Yeah, he has like a couple troops really vetted up, but not as much sheer attack power in terms of frontline infantry compared. That being said, overall in the armor game, things could be interesting. He has both the Su-85, an IS-2, and now he's getting a T-34. If used correctly, that T-34 could be very effective in terms of kind of pinning a Panther and making sure that they finally kill it. Also, for the love of God, get the fucking AT grenade. Like, you're a top tier player. Like, you should know this. But AT grenades great for snaring. Right now, the Panthers keep retreating. You need to snare. You need to lock it down. Flamethrower units trying to push back that recon unit, though it's still in the fight. Dushka, though, moving on in. 25 kills with the IS-2, not too shabby. Panthers, though, moving on in. S285 and T-34 coming in to help. AT gun will also come in. And this would be a scenario where conscripts could run over and fucking pin it. But we're not seeing that. We're really not. Also, I think it would have been a great time just for him to sacrifice one of the T-34s. To be 100% honest, I think he should have sacrificed it. If you hit in the back, you have a high likelihood of destroying its engine, and I think he really should have done that, so that way he knocks out at least one Panther. Sure, Momo could probably get it back in like a minute or two, but at least it would be a major loss for the Germans. And he it would be immobilized here. He could easily repair it. Su-85 though, opening fire on the Panther, pushing it back. Though, as we can see here, with the Sturms and also the base, which is over here. Interesting. He is going to quickly get his Panther back up to full health, whereas Soviet player going to take a little bit more time. His T-34 is going to heal, but he really should focus on that IS-2, because that T-34 is really just meant to kind of help with the infantry, and I would assume, maybe it's just me, but try to pin down that armor. But that you know, that's just me. Wow, Su-85 missing a shard too. Oh nope, trying to kill the AT gun. The Panther is. Conscript squad again. I feel like he's really like being intimidated, but like, oh my God, don't throw an AT grenade. He doesn't really have to worry. Like, I'm being honest. You're totally fine. There's really not much to say. These AT grenade would really help, but you don't get it. Anyway, meanwhile, because he holds mid, yeah, the Soviet player's down to 42 points, but still a pretty damn close game. We're not seeing any really major kills, so we did lose the Opal Sedan. I missed that, so apologies there. But overall, the Volk squads are still hanging in there, and they're getting a ton of kills, 80 respectively so far. So Panther coming on the far left. IS-2 though coming in as well. Could get a nice shot on the side. Oh, it does! It does a little bit of damage, not a ton. Panzerfaust going out, but with no real damage done before the Panzerfaust, he'll be fine. Shock troops need to open fire and stop grouping up, for God's sakes, on there. Su-85 coming over. On the Vet 5 half-track, T-34 also needs to come over. IS-2 somewhat freezing in the far back, which really it should not be. It should be in this fight. Conscript squad needs to retreat. Shock troops still holding on, trying to hold on to this position. Lost another shock troop squad. I'm sorry, conscript squad, which really does suck. Su-85 opening fire long range, getting a couple nice hits. on the Panther. Panther's trying to counterfire, but misses both shots, but S25 is like, no, I'm going to hit you. IS-2, I'm assuming he's trying to hit them for Kenwerfer. Webster kind of healing up his men. It's close. They're definitely trying to keep on to this point. And we are starting to see that Momo is losing units, so you see it's slowly starting to be knocked down a little bit. Though again, we'll see how that goes. Right now, they're both about even on fuel. Momo has a bit more munitions and still a little more manpower. So not a huge amount. Also, we have a T-70 being made. I'm assuming he's deploying that for recon mode, so that way he can use his armor and stuff like that to identify units at longer range. And that way he could counteract a lot of the Panthers from flanking or something along those lines. And honestly, I don't think I would get that. That's just me. S-85 is fine. I would get more infantry, because right now that's what you honestly you need to kind of keep more pressure on those points. Also, I would maybe get an AT grenade for fuck's sakes, but that's just, been me this entire time. Better not dwell on a, very important unit. Anyway, I'm assuming this thing's going to go in mid. There's recon mode, as I stated. It could be good. Could be very good. But we'll see what happens. We shall see. Anyway, Panther's going on in. We're also surprised you haven't remanned the AT gun, honestly. You need more conscripts to kind of do that. Meanwhile, the MG is being overrun by the Volk squad because smoke got dropped. Fire grenade going on it. Still going to cause damage, force him back. T-70, though, could go over and help. IS-2 trying to get a shot on the support gun, which would be actually pretty critical because, again, it's Vet 2 support gun. Knocking that sucker out would be very, very helpful to the overall efforts of this war. At least finishing it up. IS-2 missing the shot. Again, not great with that accuracy. T-70, though, coming in to push back the Volk squad. Maybe trying to go for that kill, I assume. Or not. Panthers, though, coming over, and this could be a big issue. Right now, all the armor and everything on here is separated. S-85 getting a nice rear shot. Vet 3 needs to redeploy. S-85 going balls deep for some damn reason. Alright, now's your time, T-34. Fire's coming down. Nice shot, or nice attempt to kill the Kenwerfer with it. Wow, T-34 penetrates. He pulled back. Smart idea. I do think... No, it was in their territory. That probably sacrificing the T-34 would not have been good. Although IS-2 now has free reign to pretty much open fire on the support gun. Panther is moving back up. Support gun, S-85 is being healed. T-70 on standby. IS-2, though, pretty damn ballsy. Does not care. This squad trying to capture a point, though. T-70 is like, nah, you're not capturing this point. Get the fuck out. Webster, though, slowly almost overtaking Momo. Things are getting desperate for Momo as, again, more and more territory is being taken over. Or, sorry, not more territory. More and more units he's losing to the enemy. So we'll see how things go. We'll see if Momo's able to turn the tide or stop the Soviet counterattack. Soviets need to capture more territory, and I think the infantry game is where they've been lacking. The armor game so far for them, I'll honestly admit, has been great. But we'll see. In any case, for Kenwerfer on standby to hold back the IS-2. Panther, both of them are relatively healed. We have a bombing strike coming in this sector. Could be very effective. IS-2 taking way too many hits. This is a bad... Oh my god, for Kenwerfer. Stops the T-34 from being able to ram. I don't understand why you're doing this. For Kenwerfer, finally nice hit on it by the IS-2. Knocks it out of this equation. Though remanned by that squad. Again, bombing strike comes in. Does a bit of damage. Nothing too major. T-70 still on standby, finally capturing a little bit more territory. IS-2 not pulling back for whatever reason. S-285 also coming in. Conscript squad capturing the far right. Right now, this IS-2 is definitely a situation where it cannot win. Like, I'll give it credit. It's trying, but he needs support now. Panther's going for the flank. Again, this would have been an opportunity to then ram said Panther. That way you pin it. But again, right now in the scenario, they're using this cover. IS-2 doing the best they can. Oh, damn, they took out a Panther. Oh, main gun destroyed. That's fucking bad. Because now you want to get that out of there. You can't. Now it comes down to a Vet 4 Panther and an IS-2. He could risk it. I don't think he's going to. Though that was probably a bigger loss for, honestly, you may expect me to say the OKW player, but actually the Soviet player, because he lost the T-70 with that as well. And while, again, we look at fuel, and yeah, Westbrook can honestly get back another S285 and T-34, no problem. It's still a kind of a bigger loss for the guy who already had less units, so it's more impactful for him, at least in his general army. Though we can see here, he is definitely capturing more territory, which is good. And unfortunately, though, Momo did lose more of his frontline infantry. So right now, it can go either way. It can honestly go either way. I could see a final climactic showdown between a highly vetted Panther and an IS-2. That being said, we can see over here that he's worried. And again, Momo doing a damn good job at losing this, the game. So he's going to move over his IS-2 in a desperate attempt to push back that squad. The Panther and Verkenwerfer are still there. IS-2 needs to pull back. Again, Vet 3, and as much as I like it, even though Vet 3, it still needs to watch itself. That being said, he only has a T-34 to really help. The infantry is kind of out. So, I don't expect a miraculous unit to come in. That being said, we have T-34 coming on the side, IS-2 hitting in the front, both bounced. IS-2, though, going after the infantry, knocks out the building. We have the far right area being decrewed. So right now, even though Webster has been doing a great job at, pushing back Momo and getting some great hits in, the problem is infantry. Once again, the thing he's been lacking and not doing as great all game. He needs to capture mid, like now. Panther and Support Gun know this and are trying to defend it as much as possible. IS-2 is currently being healed, though rapidly redeploying. Again, 41 kills, nothing to sneeze at. This IS-2 has been doing wonders. Double over Kenworth, though, in mid. Fire coming down to stop infantry from coming in and hopefully keep that stuff back. We have another T-34. I think that could have been a bad idea. I think you need an S285. Really snipe that stuff. Also, I think you need more infantry. As we just saw, you lost your conscripts. And while T-34s are good versing infantry, I think you're losing way too much too much of your own infantry. Anyway, Verkenwerfer is doing what they do best and just hold back the armor. T-34 coming around on the flank, most likely trying to kill this Vet 5 half-track, which has become a freaking beast. Oh, we have a nice mine by that player. Again, oh, killing a lot of Momo's units. I'll give him that. Now it comes down to the Vet 5 Panther. Vet 5 Panther, knowing this is his opportunity, blitz. But what's this? Webster surrendered. Oh, okay. He probably surrendered knowing that he was going to lose in the next shot, which is actually quite funny because, I don't know. If he would have gotten S285 to help snipe, that Panther probably would have died. But, alas, this is kind of like the last moment of, shoot, what am I thinking of? I mean, Sopranos kind of like left up to your interpretation, but kind of like a final, just like the final shot, like two guys going in for the punch, but you don't see the final climactic. You know what? Actually, it's the gray. That's probably would be a best thing. It has Liam Neeson pretty much ready to fight a wolf, and he runs in and the wolf charges, but you don't see the fight. And after credit scene, you see that he's lying over the body, so you think Liam Neeson won, but it's not really clear. But it's kind of like that, even though I think the IS-2 is the one down. But that being said, it could get a lucky bounce or two with the T-34 coming in to save the day. The Verkenwerfer is definitely out of commission. So, again, could have been a victory for the Soviets, but more likely a OKW victory. So what could the Soviets have done in this scenario? Right, real quick, let's look at damage. Momo got more damage and more units killed. Yeah, that's honestly positive. Webster's infantry game was kind of sour. He lost a lot more. And that kind of cost him the game, honestly. That really did. Also, a couple things. One, I think Webster, again, good. Did really good. And I think Momo did pretty good. Though I think, not over cocky, but I feel like, especially with that Panther charge, he was definitely thinking he had more control than he actually did. Which is good to for the most part, because I think Webster even thought he had more control than he actually did, or at least Momo did. So, yeah, that didn't help him out at all. I think if he would have charged with the T-34 back here with the double Panthers, he could have crippled one and killed it, and that would have threw Momo off, I think, a lot more. And I think that might have helped Webster turn the tide and maybe keep himself in the game longer. But, unfortunately, that didn't go his way. And this final fight, again, I feel is kind of weird. Because instead of trying to lure the Panthers more into your own territory to fight, you again, example with the mine, you went into his territory, and that screwed you. You lost way more units, that caused more casualties, and overall, that just caused you to go on the offensive against the enemy that you really wanted to lure him in to lose units rather than the other way around. But that's my opinion. Also, T-34s didn't really work out. I would say more so that SVD-5 got to vet 3. So, I mean, the T-34s kind of died. Nice ram, though. The Kind Warfare did save you, I will say, over in this area. So, unfortunate, but happens. But, yeah, it was a good game. It was still a good game. Still a really good game. And, once again, go check out Momo's Twitch channel. It's literally Momo4show. I highly recommend it. But, in case, guys, it's been Greyshot17. And I'll see you all next time. Hello everyone, and before I go, I want to give a special shout out to Rifle, JP Val, JustThomasPlays, jrchicklis, Streakingwookie, Matthew Leppen, Milam, Onlyplayapples, WhiteHotD, sgtMcPain, Ollie, Delta, Joey, Ace, Jordan Savat, RASpawn, Nathan Angus, Aaron Yee, Tim, and of course, Leo Lou. Thank you all for your amazing support, and I'll see you all next time.